Welcome to the deep dive. We unpack the really impactful stuff happening in tech. And today, wow, we are plunging into something pretty fascinating in filmmaking. Blackmagic Design, the company that's always making Pro Tools way more accessible. Well, they've just released two comprehensive guides, and get this, completely free for immersive filmmaking. We're talking mastering their URSA Cine Immersive camera and the whole DaVinci Resolve immersive workflow. Honestly, if you're serious about making like professional cinematic stuff for platforms like the Apple Vision Pro, this feels like more than just an update. It's kind of like a genuine turning point. Okay, let's really dig into this.
Yeah, absolutely. What's fascinating here is, well, it's how these guides really highlight a major shift, right? Immersive cinema isn't some sci-fi dream anymore. It's here. And it demands totally new ways of thinking about storytelling, production, everything. And Blackmagic, by just putting these detailed guides out there for free, they're demystifying it. They're making this field that seems super complex, maybe super expensive, way more approachable. These guides are, they're critical. They help filmmakers understand things like 8K stereoscopic video, which, that's capturing two slightly different ultra-high-res images at once. That's what gives you that real 3D depth. Plus, spatial audio editing for these new environments. It's a whole different ballgame. And as our research shows, this immersive focus is just one part of a much bigger picture. We're seeing innovation everywhere, from like basic pixel tech up to, believe it or not, a comeback for actual film.
Right. You totally hit on something key there, how dynamic this whole space is. Our deep dive today pulls from, well, a whole stack of sources. It's not just one story. It shows this kind of multifaceted evolution happening across the board. Like, while Blackmagic's pushing immersive, you've got giants like Canon sort of quietly re-engineering the actual pixel for large format sensors, which sounds technical, but it's fundamental, right? It affects how much light you capture, low light performance, dynamic range.
The basics.
Yeah, the absolute bedrock. It just subtly makes everything look better. And then, totally opposite end of the spectrum, you hear Dune Part 3 is going to be shot on film.
Yeah, that's wild, isn't it?
It is. It's not just nostalgia. It's a deliberate creative choice. Shows there's still this real appreciation for that classic medium's look and feel.
Even with all the digital advances.
Exactly. It just highlights this incredible range filmmakers have now. So, I mean, what stands out to you about this crazy mix of choices, from super new immersive tech to old school celluloid? But let's zero in on these Blackmagic guides for a sec, because they really offer a practical path. Take the URSA Cine Immersive camera guide. It's not just, here's the buttons, it covers the basics, sure, but crucially, it dives into the format it creates. Apple Immersive Video.
Oh, right. And understanding that format is everything.
Exactly. It tells you not just how to shoot, but what kind of immersive experience you're actually building. So you learn to manage things like parallax, that slight shift in object position from different viewpoints.
Crucial for realism.
And interocular distance, the space between the lenses, basically mimicking our eyes. These aren't just settings, they're creative handles. They directly impact if the viewer feels comfortable, if the 3D feels real.
Or if it makes them feel sick.
Totally. The guide helps you make choices that make the experience captivating, not disorienting.
Precisely. And then, building right on that, the DaVinci Resolve Immersive Workflow Guide tackles the post-production side, which is just as tricky, honestly. Resolve 20 just hit its final release, so the software is solid. And this manual is laser-focused on helping editors and artists adapt. It meticulously explains stereoscopic workflows, how you manage those two video streams for the 3D image, getting the alignment perfect, the depth perception right.
Yeah, that sounds complicated.
It can be. And then there's spatial audio placing sounds in 3D space around the listener. That's vital for making the world feel, believable. Plus, it covers how to change your editing habits for these immersive timelines. They're not like flat video.
How so?
Well, things like camera movement, how
Yeah.
quickly you have to be way more careful to avoid motion sickness in a headset.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
So this guide doesn't just do the tech specs. It really hammers on viewer comfort, technical compliance. These aren't small things. They're fundamental if you want a professional result that people actually enjoy. And avoid that kind of backlash we saw with, some of the earlier 3D attempts that maybe weren't thought through enough.
That difference between just operating the tech and using it thoughtfully, creatively,
Yeah.
that's so key, isn't it? Especially, like you said, thinking about 3D cinema's history. That struggle to really hook audiences often came down to that balance.
Exactly. Technology versus artistry.
And these guides seem to bridge that gap really nicely. They work as a great intro for people just starting out, but also as a solid reference for pros. And Blackmagic making them free, that really That democratizes things.
It absolutely does.
In a world where specialized training costs a fortune, this just lowers that barrier to entry for a field that's, just getting going. It really shows how competition and maybe a company like Blackmagic wanting to empower creators pushes innovation.
And that push for innovation isn't just in immersive, right? That's what's so interesting from our research. You see it across the whole industry. High-end stuff moving forward, but also this big drive for accessibility happening at the same time. So yeah, Canon's refining pixels, but then you've got chatter about whether Nikon, traditionally stills-focused, might seriously jump into the cinema camera game.
Oh, interesting. Against RED and others?
Potentially. It speaks to this broader trend, this kind of convergence, the lines between photo and video, traditional and immersive.
Yeah.
They're just constantly blurring, which ultimately just means filmmakers keep getting better, more powerful tools.
Yeah, exactly. And this dynamic feeds right into the specific comparisons filmmakers are always making, right? Trying to find the perfect tool for their project. Our sources are full of these deep dives, like Canon's EOS C70 versus the C80 versus the new C400, or Sony FX30 versus the FX3.
The nitty-gritty.
Totally. It's not just specs. It's about subtle differences, sensor size, low light, color science, workflow that make a real difference on set. And Blackmagic helps here too by actually publishing detailed readout speeds for cameras like the URSA Cine 12K LF or the PYXIS 6K.
Which matters for things like rolling shutter.
Exactly. That wobble effect with fast movement. Faster readout helps reduce it, lets you shoot higher frame rates for slow-mo without wrecking the image quality. All this constant refinement, this transparency, it genuinely empowers filmmakers.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it just highlights that cinema's future is being built on multiple levels at once. You've got the super high-end, the cutting-edge new immersive tech, large format cameras pushing boundaries. We saw CVP, the big reseller, doing a deep dive on the URSA Cine 17K 65mm. Just incredible resolution, and they're giving practical tips on how to actually use it.
17K, wow.
Right. But at the same time, there's intense competition and improvement in traditional cinema cameras. And even interesting shifts in photography, like talk about Olympus maybe working on a medium format camera known for amazing detail. It's just this rich, varied ecosystem. Every part is pushing forward, giving filmmakers this incredible menu of tools.
And crucially, and this theme runs through all our sources,
Yeah.
it's not just the high end, it's accessibility. Look at the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K G2. Hit its lowest price ever recently on Amazon.
That's huge for indie filmmaker.
Massive. Suddenly, professional grade images, high dynamic range, raw recording, it's within reach. Or the GoPro Max being called the best bang for your buck 360 camera makes immersive and action stuff way more doable for more people.
Lowers the barrier again.
Even things like TikTok are having effect. We saw large sensor streaming cameras like the YOLACam S7 dropping in price. Better quality live streaming becomes easier.
Yeah.
The spread from top-tier immersive down to super affordable, powerful tools, it's genuinely remarkable. It shows a really vibrant industry.
Which does raise that point about how these budget options help grow new talent, right? Open up creative avenues. And you see companies like Kodak popping up in interesting ways too, like that $50 Ikitar H35 film camera.
A half-frame one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cheap. It offers this distinct analog look and kind of a cool counterpoint to all the high-tech digital stuff.
Yeah.
And for young filmmakers starting out, maybe that affordable Ameta S50 Lite drone is their entry into aerial shots, opens up new ways of seeing.
It's an amazing range.
It really is. From the world's fastest FPV drones hitting 350 kilometers for insane action shots, down to like a Misarun S1 Kids camera to get kids thinking visually early on. This whole landscape just guarantees there's a tool for pretty much every level, every budget. It just fosters creativity everywhere.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener, for the future of telling stories?
Wow.
Well, the core impact of these free Blackmagic guides, it's honestly monumental. They democratize access to advanced 8K stereoscopic capture and post-production. That is essential for really compelling, immersive storytelling.
Absolutely essential.
And these guides aren't just for some elite group. They're incredibly valuable for cinematographers, directors wanting to try 8K stereo, for editors, post-production folks moving into these complex workflows, for indie creators, students needing reliable info to jump into new mediums, even established studios prepping content for, say, the Apple Vision Pro.
Covers the whole spectrum.
Yeah, and they cover the technical stuff meticulously, the Apple immersive video format, stereo workflows, spatial audio, but also that critical creative advice. managing viewer comfort, avoiding motion sickness, hitting technical compliance
And
standards.
practical realities.
Exactly. It's that holistic approach that the industry really needs, especially remembering those past struggles with 3D cinema maybe not quite landing because it lacked that thoughtful artistry, that focus on the human watching it.
Right. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the accessibility of these Blackmagic guides, it's like a perfect little example of the huge innovation wave hitting the whole industry. We saw glimpses in our sources today. You got the high-end cameras like the Sony Venice, just consistently dominating at award shows like the Emmys 2025. Shows its reliability, its image quality. You've got experts dissecting tools like the URSA Cine 17K65. The cutting edge keeps moving.
Constantly.
But at the exact same time, really powerful foundational tools are getting cheaper, more attainable than ever. The Pocket 6K G2 hitting its lowest price. The GoPro Max hailed as great value 360. It's a clear trend.
Professional-grade tech is spreading out, so the future, it's not just the cutting-edge immersive stuff. It's being shaped by that and by this diverse range of niche and accessible products, too. Whether it's Kodak's $50 film camera for a specific look or that YolaCam S7 for better live streams. It just means every kind of storyteller, no matter their budget, their favorite medium, their tech level, they have this increasingly powerful, diverse toolkit that can really bring their visions to life now.
And that brings us right to a final thought for you to take away. Given this incredible array of tools that are now available, from free pro guides for building immersive worlds to the return of classic film looks and every camera comparison you can imagine in between, how will you use this diverse toolkit? How will you tell stories that really connect, that push the boundaries of visual communication in the next few years? Resources like these Blackmagic guides, they're more than just manuals. They're like essential first steps into these early, really exciting chapters of cinema's evolving story. And they're inviting all of us to help write the next one. Keep exploring, keep creating. We'll see you on the next deep dive.